You see, it really is an honor, isn't it? And it's said compassionately to the one who doesn't see that. But something in you knows it's an honor. And at times we just get scared. We get confused, understandably. But beautifully so, we can hold space for one another. Yeah, you start to see that life is a landscape for you to play. Hasn't that been the conclusion? And like, think about all of last week, right? And now sitting here now and looking back, you realize, oh shit, there was nothing to worry about. It's scary because you see the vastness of what you're swimming in. But
You see the truth.
Yeah. And I always like to point people to look at the nature of worry. That throughout your whole life, all of the worry was that you wouldn't make it to this moment right now. That's all. And here you are. I like to ask myself, what am I protecting? Because if you feel defensive, you're protecting something. It's the nature of defense. And I had this experience last week where a friend of mine was quite angry and upset with me. And we had a conversation. And I love these moments because I get to tune in to what's happening inside of my being, and I see things. And they always end up in some sort of beautiful display of magic, right? Where it realizes, oh, this isn't a problem. Oh, you're right, I love you. Everything's fine. And so naturally it brings people closer together. But in this particular situation, as they were letting it all out, everything that they were bothered with and what they were assuming and completely misunderstanding text messages, as we do, it was fun to watch because I felt, like little stings here and there about what they were saying, but still kind of remaining in that stillness and asking, what is this about? Like this sting. And all it was trying to protect an idea of myself, that I don't want people to think da-da-da-da-da, right? All about a character in my mind that doesn't exist. This character in your mind that you're trying to protect. Very innocently, just notice that everyone has this character. Look at how much you think about that character. And to be conscious about it, you'll be amazed how much you think about this character. It probably makes up 95% of the mental content throughout the day. Even when you're thinking about other people, you're having those thoughts as a way of thinking about yourself. This character that seems so important to you, that exists in your mind, nobody else will ever see that character. When people look at you, they create a different character. They create their own character for you. But we relate with this character in our mind in such a way that we think other people will see this character. We think that other people can accept or reject this character. And it's literally impossible for anybody else to see it. So why defend it? We create images of other people so that we can backdoor an image of ourselves.
Yeah.
Just notice this. Like a great example of this is family. You create ideas of your family so that you know who you are. And then when they don't live up to that idea, you see how that bothers you? Because it jeopardizes who you think you are. Right? We say, I know myself because of who I think you are. And so if you don't be who I think you are, which is you don't be who I judge you to be, then I can't rely on my idea. And this is why we get so bothered, especially by family, because they never match the idea. They don't stand still. It's like you have an idea of a mother or a father. That other human being is not that idea. Not at all. What are they? They are the spontaneous unfolding of life, just like you. But we look to them to know ourselves. But it's a disaster. Only takes one person for there to be conflict. The social idea is that it takes two. It does not. Because somebody can have conflict with you, and you can be in a space that doesn't have conflict with their conflict.
Yeah.
You totally allow them to have conflict and love them and be untouched by it, which will piss them off more. If you're in conflict with somebody, why? What about it disturbs you? It's like we keep seeing we give our power away, and that bothers us. And so we blame the other person for it. You give your power away to somebody, and then you blame them for it. Do you see how insane that is? So who's your conflict really with? You just healed your conflict with that person. Because you see you don't have conflict with them. But do you see that? I mean, beyond the intellectual, it's like you feel that, holy shit, I literally believed, I bought into the illusion that it was this other human being. The subsequent result of that was you withheld love from that person. So now in seeing that it's not that person at all, is there a love that wants to flow? This will tell me if you really see it or not. Yeah, when you're in conflict, the last thing you want to hear is the truth.
Yeah.
Take note of that, by the way, which again invites a stillness. I would suggest that maybe there's something in you that wants to communicate rather than argue and fight, and express to her what you're expressing with me, which essentially what you're telling me is that you're sorry. That the problem is not you, it's me. And so I just want to, you see, this is the thing, the beautiful thing about communicating, right? When we just get honest, when you see the truth, we see this a lot of times and then we ignore it because we want to be righteous bastards. We want to be right rather than be happy. This is the expansion in life. Wherever you have barriers to love's flow, you will for sure see those barriers thrown into your face. Without question. Why? Because love is going to flow whether you like it or not. See, that's the buildup of pain. Pain says love isn't flowing, and so pain increases, increases, increases. It's like pressure on a dam to break the dam. That says we have to restore the flow, because if you don't, then the water just stays all stagnant and gets gross. Sooner or later, we're going to have to confront these things. Sooner or later. The beauty of this is life will do it for you.
Yeah.
Which they will bring those back into your life. Life will organize situations for you to see the issue.
Yeah.
What I like to do in my own play of this is, first of all, if I think I have a problem with someone, that's a huge alarm. Because to see the mechanism of this, that's impossible, right? It's impossible that my disturbance has anything to do other than my own way of seeing. And so if I have a belief that I'm projecting onto somebody else, blaming somebody else, that's an alarm that says, I need to look at what's really going on here. And then I see what the real issue is. Okay, I'm scared. Okay, I'm wanting something from them that they can never give me. I'm holding love from them because they won't give me something that they don't have to give me. That's stupid. And I see their profound innocence. I see that, oh my God, you're just being you, being life, right? Being the spontaneous nature of life, which isn't a problem. And I'm upset because I'm seeing the collapse of my own imagined sense of self-importance. And so there's this forgiveness that emerges that says, no, actually, I don't want you to change. I want you to be you. You're doing an awesome job being you because it's waking me the fuck up. Literally. See, we miss this divine chaos, right? The spiritual idea is, oh, well, when people wake up, then everyone's going to be all nice to each other. No. That's like saying when everything wakes up, the bugs are going to stop fighting. Or the forest will be more organized. No. That's not what it's like. It's raw. It's real. And it's divinely inspired that way. Because that's what wakes things up. That's what destroys your construct, is the perceived chaos of life. And so stop trying to make everything nice and neat. Confront the reality that, holy shit, this is chaos. This other person is never going to be what I want them to be. Never. Never. The worst thing that can happen is it looks like they are. Because then you'll believe it, and then you'll find out they're not. And so just let go of that right now. Other people will never be who you're waiting for them to be. And realize the only reason you're withholding love or waiting is because you're scared. You're afraid of seeing the only thing you're afraid of seeing, which is the truth. And again, to just say it directly, we're afraid of seeing the truth that who we think we are doesn't exist. That's all. That's why we spend so much time trying to make ourselves exist. And how do you spend that time? Thinking about yourself. When you think about, look at this, when you think about how wrong you think someone is, do you see that's you thinking about how right you are? Think you're pretty sneaky, don't you? No. And do you really know that, or does it just look that way? It looks that way because you want it to look that way. You're literally fabricating an illusion to support your own idea of yourself, subsequently experiencing hell the whole time. You're like, I'm suffering, but at least I think I'm right. And we can literally live our whole life like that. And then when you're on your deathbed, you look back and you say, that was fucking stupid. Why didn't I just enjoy myself? I hope I get to come back and play again. I'm going to love more next time. Yeah. I wonder, and this, it's true in a way, but it's like when I say, and it's been said for thousands of years, who you think you are doesn't exist. I wonder to what degree you actually hear me. Like how true that is. And I almost caution you because it can really freak you out. Because we are hypnotized into believing something that's nothing, and that becomes our foundation, right? Imagine you live this whole life thinking you're this character, and then all of a sudden you wake up and you realize how not real that is, that there's no solid ground to it at all. And so in a way, there's a part of you that really doesn't want to see that. Understandably, totally understandably. Because it's terrifying, because it throws you into the unknown. And is that not what you're afraid of? The unknown. What about my life tomorrow? You see, and this is actually a very wise thing to recognize, is that you're not here to fix anything. You're here to see something. People tend to be so worried about their actions, what they do or what they don't do, not realizing that your actions is the last step. Action comes from how you see. If you see the truth, your action will be in alignment with truth. And so you can completely let go of the action, completely let go of what should I do or what shouldn't I do, and ask yourself, what do I see? Because notice this, again, returning to the stillness, you're experiencing conflict and you ask yourself what's true. seek first the kingdom. What's really true here? Do you see how immediately you start letting go of things? Just the willingness to ask that question, what's really going on, is a question that's willing to call yourself out on your own bullshit, right? So that immediately helps without doing anything. And now that you've let go of a little bit or a lot, your action now will be certainly different. Certainly different. Maybe not how you think it should be, but don't worry about that. Trust the process.